to issue number 2 of Akira Kizzau. We have been moving to your position, but we have our own issue below, Ariane said as she and Kizzau made their way along the path the lurker had fled. Soot rested in a pack they had retrieved from the lizardkin that had greeted them before. When they tried to leave the black rabbit, it sprinted after them. At last, they had relented and asked for something with which to transport the rabbit. "Do you need any help?" Saya asked. "No," whispered Kizzau, "but it is strange that today started with us pondering the fate of our favorite totem, and here we are looking for clues about them. We'll let you know if we need backup. Give us half an hour for a check." "Roger," Saya said, and the comms went silent. "The electrical output of the tunnels is ebbing wherever the lurker travels," Ariane said, lifting the tech screen on the back of her arm to show her wife. "It is not making itself scarce. Why do you think it muttered Gertrude's name?" "From what I know about Gunshai's trip to the broken home, the lurkers there seem to be very protective of magic radiating great power," Kizzau answered as the lights flickered again. "And we are probably walking into a trap. The lurkers are not known to travel alone. Is it possible the lurkers want the totems on the broken home? The only information I have about the totems is that their immortality is puzzling even to the gods. Before High Druid Jinrad vanished, he was studying them, but even his search into their past was limited. And he was ancient even before he vanished," Kizzau said. "I'm just glad he left us with more than one friend in his wake. I did a curiosity dive into the totems after encountering Gertrude for the first time. She used to be the companion of a miner on a resource-gathering aspect. Their records of her stated she simply appeared and started keeping them safe while they scoured the aspect." Electricity arced in the tunnel ahead of them. "Soot," came the familiar voice of the lurker. After a few moments, it was joined by other voices, all saying the totem's name over and over. Pratchett darted ahead without waiting for Kizzau. The dwarf mimic seemed to enraged over the presence of the lurkers. Nodding to Ari, she sprinted after the teleporting treasure box. "Why do you think the lurker was afraid of Pratchett?" Ari asked as the voices saying Soot's name vanished. "There was a wall of near-perfect darkness ahead of them. Being underground in a wide tunnel was fine for the wood elf, but Kizzau saw her wife pause, and knew her usual stoic edge was faltering a little. "Let's take it slow," Kizzau said. "The lurkers seem to be waiting for something. Maybe we have some time before they press us into a confrontation." They both looked to the massive darkness in front of them. Kizzau could see 6 lurkers emanating clear gaseous anomalies. She had a theory that the lurkers had been responsible for the very blight that gave her race their name. No concrete evidence had come to light, but she was able to see past the darkness they traveled within like any disease. None of the creatures made a hasty move toward them. "What do you want?" Ariane asked before Kizzau could examine the situation further. Neither elf averted their gaze as the lurkers hovered just out of reach. "Soot," whispered a few of the lurkers. "Gertrude," whispered the others. "Totems," they all said in unison. "We have guessed that," Kizzau said. "But why?" "Mead," roared the collected lurkers before surging toward them. Kizzau aligned her back with Ari's, placing the satchel with Soot to the side, where both could easily defend the rabbit. She saw Pratchett teleport toward and start biting one of the lurkers, which fled down the tunnel with the dwarf mimic latched on. There was no fear the little creature would be lost, as the tether spell would immediately recoil it back toward them. Both elves remained in defensive stances. There was an odd way of the lurkers. Neither had much interaction with the creatures, only vague rumors which spoke of the voracious rage the race was inclined toward. Kizzau lashed out quickly with her scythe. That would slow the movements for a short time, but each movement was met with a slight retreat. Ariane had her katana crossed in front of her, which brought up a shield that would protect them both for a short time. The lurkers lashed out, battering the shield as one. Ariane winced, but managed to click her katana together quickly to reactivate the spell. However, the move would not be able to be repeated for some time. "They're relentless," Ari said, taking a knee. "They're avoiding me," Kizzau said, slashing at two different lurkers, both of which darted to different sides. It was clear the creatures intended to focus on one of them in order to find a way to reach Soot. She could feel the little rabbit quivering in the satchel between them. "Little one, be brave." Stepping forward, Kizzau stood beside her wife to confront the lurkers. The action seemed to send the creatures into a frenzy as tentacles darted all over the place. Ariane uncrossed her blades to assist Kizzau in striking at the onslaught. Gone was the tactful stance of the lurkers to avoid strikes. Soon Black Ichor splayed on the weapons and armor. They slowed as Kizzau found her marks, but 5 against 2 was taking a fast toll on the heroics. "Down the tunnel," Ariane said, drawing Kizzau's attention to the direction Pratchett had vanished with the 6th lurker. Something small, with glowing red eyes, was racing toward them. Behind it was a trail of shadowy footprints. It was another rabbit, but this one was even darker than the clouds surrounding the lurkers. "Frith," Kizzau said as a smile spread across her lips. And with that, I'll see you all in the near future, and thank you for listening.